Let's discuss all of this with my panel. Kelly Hyman is a Democratic strategist and a trial attorney, and Elizabeth Barcohana is a Republican strategist and an attorney. Welcome to you both. Welcome to The Story Is for the first time, both of you. Great to have you both here. Obviously a serious subject. Let's start with you on the legal front here. What is Swalwell looking at?
These are serious allegations, but not only is he looking at potential criminal liability, he's also looking at potential civil liability as well. So when we talk about the criminal aspects, that's where the prosecutor would bring the criminal case, whether that's potentially rape or that's sexual assault or some type of sexual harassment for those types of cases. And in those cases, the criminal cases, the penalty is potential jail time. Now, from the civil standpoint, that is more of to make the person that has been the survivor, the accused person, whole. Those type of compensation would be monetary damages, and that could potentially be cases of sexual abuse as well. So he's looking at all potential cases, not only in New York, but potentially in California as well.
Right, this statement now from the LA County Sheriff's Department investigating this latest incident that they were talking about today with Lisa Bloom. Meanwhile, the political reality of this, I mean, quite stunning that Swalwell is out. And interesting to hear from a lot of the people, including his best friend there, who said, we didn't know anything at all, which a lot of people find hard to believe.
It's impossible. It was reported in the media. There are videos online. This guy is a habitual predator, and he's had that reputation for now 16 years since he started running for local office. The establishment has covered for him, and as a result of that, he graduated not only to higher office to be a more powerful congressman, but also he graduated to violent sexual assault crimes, leaving a trail of victims, allegedly. Yes, it's all alleged at this point, and it's under investigation. That's true. But there is a trail of victims who all have a similar story. And so even Swalwell's own words, that is very credible evidence.
What do you think this does now to the governor's race? I mean, where do we go from here?
So yes, so Swalwell, so in California, we have a jungle primary, which means that on June 2nd, it's open. Anybody can vote for either party, and the top two vote getters will advance to the November election. And the polls had Swalwell being the top Democrat. The Republicans have been in the number 1 spot and the number 2 or 3 spot, and he's alternating around that time frame. Around that ranking. And after this weekend, first he dropped out of the governor's race and then he resigned from Congress. So now it remains to be seen where his support, both endorsements, money, and voters, is going to go from here. We don't know that yet.
We don't know. And obviously Tom Steyer has spent over $100 million of his own money trying to do this. He just got the endorsement of the California Teachers Association, which had backed Swalwell before. We've seen Matt Mahan get out there, raise a lot of money. Javier Becerra raise a lot of money, and we'll see what it does for the Republicans in the race as well. Just sort of big picture in terms of this moment, though, what this tells us about powerful men, and this is a Republican and a Democratic issue, that get into power and then think that they're invincible and have preyed on young women, which is something that we've seen that for decades and decades, and it's just horrible.
No one is above the law, and no one should be. As someone that represents victims who have been sexually abused, it's important for us to remember that it takes tremendous amount of courage and strength for these women to come forward. And usually, sadly, it happens when one comes forward, they have strength in numbers and they feel comfortable about coming forward. So there needs to be some type of change. There needs to be some type of accountability. There need to be more women at the table so they can make changes. And so that is really important.
Yeah, because that's been some of the question of why now, and yet some of that kind of sounds like victim blaming when you hear some of that language out there. Let's talk about the other big political headline of the night, which is what's going on with President Trump and Iran, the potential end of the Iran war with negotiations. President Trump on tonight with Maria Bartiromo. Fox News put out a clip. Let's watch this.
Is this war over?
I think it's close to over, yeah. I mean, I view it as very close to over. You know what? If I pulled up stakes right now, it would take them 20 years to rebuild that country. And we're not finished. We'll see what happens. I think they want to make a deal very badly.
Elizabeth, what do you make of the politics of this? Because this war has been splitting the Republican Party.
Yes and no. There's a lot of support for President Trump in the war. It's pretty high, actually, because most of the party understands that we have been at war with, well, excuse me, Iran has been at war with us for 47 years. And this was an opportunity for the United States to put an end to that war. We have a very strong commander-in-chief to do that with a very strong partner in Israel. And also he has been building towards this with the Abraham Accords and other diplomacy that he's been, working on in the Middle East during Trump 1 and now Trump 2. So the timing of it was somewhat spontaneous because there was uprisings in the country, in every province in Iran, but also it was an opportunity. And now I think he's speaking about the end of it kind of in the past tense because he always had this timeline in mind, and the ceasefire is ending and he has a plan.
You think this is going well? You think he has a plan?
Operation Epic Fury has been an Operation Epic failure. We keep moving the goalposts. When is this going to end? How much is it costing taxpayers' money? It's been reported it's costing taxpayer money billions of dollars every single day. We are putting our service people who fight for our country on the lines. They're dying. It's hurting our economy. Look at gas prices. I mean, how much more do we have to go through?
Operation Epic failure. You agree with that?
Absolutely not. Gas prices are still lower than they were under Joe Biden, even with the war right now. And, it's war.
At one point. But yeah, but the main point of why you think that this is worth it.
Because it's a national security interest and it actually has global implications for everyone, including Americans, including our interests in the Middle East and at home. They had weapons that could reach the United States and our strategic partners all over the world. They were using them, from Yemen through their proxies against Israel, from Lebanon. They were using them and they were threatening to use them when they developed the capability to reach the United States homeland. And we cannot allow that.
All right, we've got to leave it there for time, but great having both of you in. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Elizabeth, Kelly, great to have you both for the first time here on the show.